introduction, then aggregate expenditure and equilibrium product. The third lecture, we will talk about money. How can we define money? What types of money we got? How central bank can affect money market. So when we talk about money market, we will have there demand for money and supply of money. Demand for money, why economic subjects demand for money. Supply, how the supply of money is affected by the central bank, for example. The fourth lecture is very important because this is the basic model which we use in macroeconomics. This is aggregate demand, aggregate supply. So we will talk about how can we derive aggregate demand, what is behind aggregate demand. We will have some curve of aggregate demand. And then we will talk about aggregate supply. We will see that there is difference between short-term and long-term because in long-term there is more flexibility at the market, but in short-term there is some rigidities, and this is the reason why we must distinguish short and long-term. And then we put it aggregate supply, aggregate demand together. And we'll talk about equilibrium product in short term, in long term. For example, what happens in short term when government increases government purchases, what happens in short term, what happens in long term. We use this model directly in the fifth lecture. This is economic growth and business cycle. Business cycle, this is short-term fluctuation of the economy on some potential product. So we'll talk about recession, about expansion, and so on, and what is behind. And economic growth, this is the growth of potential product, this is the growth in the long term. Then we will talk about unemployment. For example, in the Czech Republic, unemployment now, it isn't so big problem, but in some countries, especially during the crisis, it's quite important problem. We will talk about some definition. Who is unemployed? How can we measure unemployment? What types of unemployment we got? Why is unemployment negative? And what government or generally the state can make with unemployment. Then inflation. It looks more